Well, good morning, day 54, I think. I have to go back and check, but I think my arithmetic is right. We are back at the Mount Rogers Visitor Center here. We got a shuttle ride in from the Lynx public transit this morning, so it didn't cost us anything, so that was pretty awesome. And we're about to get back on the trail. We had a little bit of a breakfast. I've had some real coffee, which was a real blessing. And we're gonna head out and go to the trail. We've got about 13 or so, maybe 13 and a half miles today. We're going to a campsite up the way and looking for a good day's hike. We've got about 5 miles of gradual uphill, and then it's downhill and smooth sailing from there. So we'll check with you when we get on the trail, and we'll see you shortly. Well, just a few steps further, and this is kind of indicative of our trail today. Walking over rocks. These actually aren't so much buried up, but they're not easy to travel over. Even though I'm going uphill, it's difficult to make good time over stuff like this because it's moving underfoot and shifting. Of course, when you kick one, most assuredly it's going to be 2/3 buried, so it's going to really hurt when you kick it. But it won't be like this all day, I know that, and we're blessed to be here. We're thankful that it's not raining. It's a little cool. It's supposed to be around 40 today. But we're gonna have a great day of hiking. Well, a sun view of Walker Mountain. I believe I will. So finally we got a view today. Really a pretty view. Not sure what all it is that I'm looking at, but I'll show you a little secret here just in a sec. One of my viewers asked me, how do I know all the mountains? Well, there's a sign there that says that one of these is Walker Mountain. That's how I know that. But you know, largely to this point, we've been hiking kind of near home, so a lot of the mountains that I've identified have been some that I just know. But I have an app called Peak Finder. I think it's about $5 or $10. I don't know. It's not much on the App Store. And I'll take a still with it here and include it in the video. But it will identify, you know, all your mountains. You can overlay a photograph, and it'll show you everything. It's a neat little app. If you're out in the outdoors doing some day hikes or section hikes or through hikes even, I highly recommend it. There's a nicely running little spring right on the trail. Water's just pouring out right here. I'm sure you can see. Clear as can be right there running across the trail and then down into the valley below. Beautiful hike today. Could be a little warmer, could be a lot less rocky, but on the whole, I'll take it. I think I mentioned that I thought we had about 5 miles of upish, and then the rest of the day would be a lot more moderate. And I think we have crossed that peak. I was looking at my watch and haven't looked at the map, but I looked at my watch and we've been out 2 hours. And that's about 5 miles, give or take, depending on terrain and how quickly we hike. If we're on the flats, we can do better. But given the uphills and the rocks, I'd say 2.5 miles an hour is a pretty good clip for us today. But I'm gonna head on down the trail. I still have rocks going on, yippee. Kind of painful on the feet, but at least I'm not climbing, and at least the sun is out. Well, we're about to cross this stream for a second time. It's wider now, and there's Hawkeye and the Chatfield Memorial Shelter. So we're gonna pause and probably have some lunch. I'll check in with you up the trail. Lots of crossings and streams this morning, or this afternoon. I think it's still this morning. I don't think it's noon yet. Maybe it is. Maybe it's noon. But beautiful day so far of hiking, and warmed up a little bit. It's still kind of coolish, but it's not horrible. And we'll cross this little step right here. My pole's shifted, and head on up the trail. Hawkeye's feeling good this morning. I don't even know whether he stopped and ate much at that old shelter, but I needed to, because it's weight out of my pack. It's nourishment to my body, and for that I'm thankful. I want to do all I can to get as many calories on board as I can. As I mentioned yesterday, I've lost enough weight. I need to maintain, or actually even maybe put a little bit back on so my hip belt fits a little bit better. I did make an adjustment to my pack when we stopped. I lengthened the torso. There's the piece where the shoulder straps attach is mobile. It's a big sheet of Velcro that goes down the inside of the pack, and you can loosen it and raise and lower the shoulder straps. And I'm hoping, I raised them up maybe an inch or so, hoping that between that and the load lifter straps on the way top of my pack, that'll get a little bit more of the weight off my shoulders when my hip belt starts to sag, because my hips are not going to get any smaller. If I can keep the hip belt where it is, and if the lengthened torso helps keep more of the weight off my shoulders, then I can stay with this bag, because I do like it. It's a good bag. It's an Osprey Aether. I think it's a 60-liter pack. I have the brain with it right now. In the summertime, I might send the brain home, save a few ounces. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not there yet. It's 40 degrees today, so we're a long way from summertime. Well, maybe not a long way. I think it'll warm up towards the end of the week, or in the next few days. I'm not even sure what day today is. It may be the end of the week already. But anyway, we're doing well up the trail this morning. We did our first 6 miles. I couldn't believe we were already actually 7 miles in back there at that shelter. And I wasn't expecting that, so that's kind of neat. I also had forgotten to look to see, that we had the shelter. I figured we always pass one by at midday, most days anyway. So I figured we would, but I didn't look ahead. Should have. So I'll check with you up the trail a little bit. Well, moving through the rhododendrons today. Hawkeye's out in front. We seem to be, at least for the moment, free of the rocks and on really flat ground, so we're stepping on up. We could end our day way earlier than I figured that we would if we can keep this pace. I was figuring 3 o'clock. It's looking a lot more like 1:30, but maybe a little bit after that, maybe 2. But I do think we're going to be a little ahead of my planned 3 o'clock finish, which is just fine. It's one of those days where, in theory, we should get there and look and say, well, can we go, 5 more miles to make tomorrow easier? But I don't really think there's a place that we can go 5 more miles. We'll have to just do some looking when we get there. Okay, I don't know if you can hear this or not, but there's a distinctive hum coming off these power lines right here as we come underneath them. It reminds me of a movie from the early 80s with John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd, I think, called Neighbors. There was a big high tension line like this right beside the trailer house of one of them that made all kinds of noises and kept sucking things like lawn chairs and things like that magnetically up against it. Not very practical. It doesn't work like that because aluminum is not magnetic. But anyway, I always think about that movie when we pass under these power lines that are humming like that. We should be coming just in a second to the Virginia Settlers Museum. And though I've never been to tour the whole museum properly, I think we will walk right past a part of it, and that part of it is the Lindamood School. It's an 1890s schoolhouse, one-room schoolhouse, and I think it's right over here. And there's a Methodist church up here that provides trail magic in that shelter, or in that schoolhouse. There's boxes upon boxes typically of things. We're early yet, so who knows what we'll find, but I would absolutely not turn down a fresh piece or two of fruit. That would be awesome. So I'll show you that when we get there. Well, here we come up to the Lindamood Schoolhouse. Probably drop our packs and go inside for just a minute. We can see what's going on. Thanks to the West End UMC from Withville, Virginia. Trail magic, we appreciate it. And we will certainly partake. We'll see what we can find inside here. So thanks to that UMC for providing trail magic here at the schoolhouse. And as I said, if I could find some fresh fruit, that would be even more awesome. Well, I'm having to video through the door because the schoolhouse is not open and the trail magic is not set up yet. How sad. We missed it by, I don't know, a week or two maybe. Starting April 1st, they'll be open 10 to 5. But anyway, this is a look of the inside of this 1894 Lindenwood Schoolhouse. I know some hikers have stayed here. I actually called ahead just to see, could we stay here? And they said, no, it's not really a shelter. They don't really appreciate that. But anyway, this is what we're missing. And moreover, we're missing fresh fruit and trail magic inside, but that's okay. This is one of those places I've always wanted to come back just to visit, to tour, and we'll certainly do that in the future. Well, we've come a little closer to the interstate now. I'm wondering if this is the new hostel up here with the alpacas. I sort of think it might be. We're going to cross over the railroad tracks right here. Definitely going to look both ways. Yep, we're clear. Get up and over the rails and on up through this field right here. But I do sort of think, I think one or the other of these is a hostel with the alpacas. Not planning on staying. Hawkeye probably doesn't know about it. It'd be kind of nice too, but we really need to get on up the trail and not spend any more money than we've already spent, especially after 4 nights in Damascus. But we'll see how things go. I'm not sure how far we are from our campsite. I would think probably 2 miles, maybe 2.5 would be my best guess. But I haven't looked at my watch lately to know what time it is. So not really sure. I'll check in with you shortly. Okay, so this is an awesome surprise. Apparently Hawkeye has been on the phone with our dear friend Pringles. And it is so awesome to see you.
I brought you lunch.
Oh, thank you. All right, here we are. This is Pringles. We've talked about Pringles on the trail before. We hiked with her in 2019, and she has been a dear friend since. And she just brought us lunch and drinks, and it was awesome. We are headed into her neck of the woods now, so we will be seeing her again in the next few days. And we really appreciate you being here for us today. And
of course.
And Gavin, Hawkeye, thank you for keeping the surprise, because you know, when we stopped at that last shelter, he said, "No, Dad, I think let's go onto the interstate before we eat lunch. We should push on. We should push." so we had foot-long subs and drinks and chips, and it was all awesome, and it was great to see our dear friend Pringles, and we'll see her as we get moving further north into Pearisburg. So
keep hiking.
Thanks a bunch. We'll see you soon.
You guys are so welcome.
Hawkeye and I are right here in traffic. We are getting ready to cross under Interstate 81 here in Southern Virginia. We are blessed beyond anybody can believe. Our dear friend Pringles met us with Subway sandwiches and drinks for lunch. It was awesome. Gav, what do you have to say?
Thank you, Pringles. We very much appreciate it.
Absolutely. I've called.
Surprised Dad.
They completely surprised me, because Hawkeye was saying when we got to that shelter, "No, Dad, let's don't eat lunch here. Let's go onto the interstate and eat lunch there." My figuring was he realized there was a restaurant in that gas station right back there. I had no idea that Pringles would meet us today, so that was awesome. Well done, Gavin and Pringles. You guys surprised me really well, and that was awesome. So anyway, we got about 1.7, 1.6 miles that we're gonna hike now to our campsite. We'll set up and figure out how we're gonna get forward from here. We've got a 20-mile day planned, not tomorrow, but the following day. And I'm not in love with that 20-mile day because it's got a couple of big ups in it. I mean, we can do it, but if we don't have to do it that way, I'd just assume not. Because our day tomorrow is like 12, and that's, shoot, we'll finish that by 1 o'clock if we get up and get out. So anyway, we've got some planning to do. We'll see Pringles again real soon. We're heading into her neck of the woods into Pearisburg, and we'll spend a couple of days probably with her. And she talked about doing some slack packing and chilling at Angel's Rest and all that. So we are beyond excited to be in Pearisburg, Virginia. That's somewhere we've been to visit a few times, and we know that area. And there's a good Mexican restaurant there, and any town that's got a good Mexican restaurant is a great trail town. So we're gonna head on off into the woods. I see that we need to turn right up here, so we'll check traffic and do that. I'm gonna put the phone over so I don't get mashed in the road, and we'll talk to you in a few minutes up the trail. Well, we just came across this little creek right here, and evidently whomever it is that owns this property is trying to beautify it with some fruit trees, I'm guessing. So there's all kinds of new fruit trees out here, or something marked out by these pink ribbons on the top. We've got, I don't know, a mile and a half to go to our campsite. It's been a great day. We've hiked fast. Trail's not been too bad. Weather warmed up much warmer than I expected. And we got to see our dear friend Pringles, so that was awesome. We'll see her again here in a few days. We're hiking closer to where she lives, but it was a blessing that she was able to come out and meet us today with lunch. That was absolutely awesome and a surprise to me. I've surprised Hawkeye a few times on the trail when his mom, my wife, was coming out. So it was kind of neat that he was able to return the favor today because he knew this was coming and I didn't. And it was a special treat to have a really good lunch and to meet up with our friend. So we'll see her again soon. And Pringles, thank you so very much. Her channel is Katahdin or Bust. We were talking about how she's gonna maybe post some new videos here soon. We'll see, but check out her channel. She hiked with us in 2019. Well, we just came through a gate and we're walking through this pasture right now. I don't think it's being used right now, but I know that it will be. And we're about half a mile from our campsite or thereabouts. And definitely I'll show you that when we get there. I sort of think I know where we're going, but I don't remember going through this field either, so maybe I don't know where we're going. We'll see when we get there. Well, safely across, this is another option for crossing fenceways, is to have a trellis like this where you kind of go up and over, which I just did, no issues. And we're moving on. I like the cattle gates better, but those are probably easier to manage. So anyway, we're heading on down into the woods out of the pasture now and working our way towards our campsite. Well, we have, I think, arrived. The trail's right over here. It goes right up through here. And, oh, there's a blue blaze. Let's see what this says. Hawkeye says this is the Davis Branch campsite. And, oh, it's pretty sign. Cedar boards, spring that way. Not sure how far. Probably better than the cow pasture spring over here or stream over here, but we'll set up right here and we'll be happy for the night. It's early in the day. It's only 3:15. But this is kind of where we wanted to be. We're set up and we're in good shape. So I'm gonna go throw up a tent right here and I'll check in with you shortly. Well, it's been a while since we've done this. We're actually camping tonight. There's my water filtering, and I've got my tent put up. Hawkeye's tent's back down in here a little ways. I'm over here. I've got a log and I've got a fire pit, but I'm not gonna use it. I'll probably sit here and eat my supper here in a little bit. I'm still kind of full from the supper that Pringles brought us, or the late lunch, or the whatever you call it. That was a godsend. Pringles, we love you. Thank you so very much for coming out to visit us on the trail, and we look forward to seeing you in a few days as we get closer to your hometown. If you've not checked her out, her channel is Katahdin or Bust, and I think she's gonna be adding some videos. She actually has finished the trail. She hiked with us in 2019, and she had a really major fall early on in Maine. I mean, it had a very, very deep tissue bruise that forced her off trail, but she has gone back and finished all of her miles, so she's a 2,000 miler. And I think maybe in talking with her today, I think maybe she's not put up all of her videos yet, but she's gonna be putting up some others. So I encourage you to look at her videos. She's very creative and she's a loving person and a very dear friend to us. So check out Katahdin or Bust, and we'll see her in another couple of 3 days. And some of the friends that she has, one, Broccoli Rob, we met him on the trail in 2019. So we'll be seeing him and Honey Bun and quite a few other folks when we get to Pearisburg. So anyway, thanks for joining us. Not sure whether I'll show you cooking supper or not, but I've got the tent set up and I'm ready to here, I'll show you inside. I'm kind of waiting on my water to filter and it's about to bubble over. But anyway, I've got my tent set up inside here. I've kind of got a system. All my electronic stuff goes up here in this corner where the orange bag is. I sleep over there, packs down there. My hiking clothes are out there drying, and shoes are tucked underneath there. And it's a really good system that works well for me to have a place for everything and everything in its place. Oh, and of course I have the hiking socks dangling from a tree drying out, so I'll have dry socks in the morning. Anyway, thanks for joining us today. We look forward to having you come back tomorrow and watch our video in the morning. We'll see you then.